That's cool. And no viewer is going to stick around for that. What is that?
It's a hot taco. So today we are reviewing the sequel to All Dogs Go to Heaven called White God.
Yeah. You say that as a joke, but it kind of actually structurally reminds me of the movie Disney was afraid to make, kind of.
Yeah,
it does kind of.
That's what All Dogs Go to Heaven should have been like.
Well, I want to throw this out there. This movie doesn't feel cheap in any way.
No, it doesn't feel cheap. There's a lot of dogs. And who knows what they paid each one of them?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing that the movie states at the beginning is that a large percentage of the dogs, 98% of the dogs that appear in this movie were adopted to homes. And it was actually the daughter of the trainer of Cujo that worked with the dogs on the film. And although it's very difficult to watch if you're an animal lover, if you're very careful in the way you watch, you can notice that no animal was actually in any kind of jeopardy at any moment.
No, they filmed it perfectly just to give that idea.
Impression, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of editing techniques and close-ups and things like that.
I mean, no one talks about the fact that the other 2% were sent to Vietnam to be eaten. Here we have a film about a dog and a girl. And it's a street dog.
Lily is the name of the girl. The girl's mother is dropping her off to stay with her father.
Oh, of course.
And she drops her off with the dog. So the dog has always been the girl's dog.
That's right. Yep.
A new law has been passed apparently in Hungary. I don't know if this correlates to a real law in Hungary or if it's a science fiction element in the movie that's kind of warning of this sort of thing. But a law has been passed that mongrel dogs have to be registered with the state. And this is the father doesn't want to pay the fee that would be required for him to keep the dog.
See, at first, because I wasn't, I thought this was like a dystopian future kind of thing where, maybe dogs had done this before, and that's why all mixed breed dogs had like a giant tax on it.
Oh,
okay. And the dog's name was Hagen or something. Hagen. Hagen dog.
I don't know how you could not know the dog's name because they say it like 800 times.
Yeah, Hagen dog.
Hagen dog.
Yeah. Anyway, so but she desperately loves this dog, as most people do their pups, and she is so afraid that her father's going to get rid of it. I mean, sure, he offers to buy like a purebred dog, but it's not about a dog. It's about a friend. And so she takes it to school with her or to band practice or orchestra practice. Yeah. Anyway, so she takes it to class, and the long and short of it is that the dog makes a ruckus, and that they tell her to put the dog out, but she knows if that happens, then the dog will probably get caught and put to death. So she leaves with the dog, and the conductor screams at her and says, "You're out of here for good now." Okay, well, anyway, no. So it ends up that that the dog ends up in the pound. And while in the pound, the dog becomes massively intelligent and breaks out of his cage, and then kills a dude, and then very skillfully breaks all the other dogs out of the cage.
Well, you skipped an entire sequence where he's sort of purchased.
By that mean guy
who files down his teeth.
Yeah, and then like feeds him.
Trains him to kill.
Nails some pork ribs to a board, and then scares him with a hoodie on.
Yeah, and then he becomes violent, and he enters sort of a dog fighting ring.
Yeah.
And he's fighting against, it looks like a Doberman or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But a much meaner looking dog than him.
Yeah, I think it was a Rottweiler.
Yeah. So somehow he defeats the Rottweiler.
Yep.
And I don't know who turns the power off, but the power goes out, and then Hagen escapes, and he's living on the streets for a little while, and finally gets. And we should mention he has a little white dog that looks very much like Basil, who shows up every once in a while and kind of helps him out.
Yeah, and then during this time, Lily is very distraught.
Mm-hmm.
Her Hagen dog is gone, and she ends up going to a club and drinking.
Mm-hmm. And hiding some drugs for somebody.
And because she's mad at her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And during this whole time also, Hagen dog starts amassing an army of angry dogs.
No, this happens after he's put in a dog pound.
Right.
He's been mistreated by several people along the way.
Yeah.
And he gets caught. He gets put in the dog pound, and a key moment happens where he just decides, fuck it, he's not going to put up with this shit anymore, and he leads hundreds of dogs into a rebellion against the people that harmed him.
It reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode where the family dog does the same thing. So Hagen dog goes with his army. Sure. Goes to take his army of angry canines and go to the slaughterhouse where Lily's dad lives, and take revenge. Works.
He doesn't live at the slaughterhouse.
Okay, so I get confused because I feel like I live at work, but so he actually doesn't take them. He sends them. He says, "Now is the time for dogs to stand on their own 4 feet and go to the slaughterhouse and take revenge upon Lily's father who hath forsaken me."
Yeah.
And during that
this is
time,
after he went on some rather bloody revenge.
Well, no. It was during that time that he goes off on his bloody rampage and takes revenge on everyone who's ever hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And
sort of like the shark in Jaws: The Revenge. So
but it's not a revenge movie because, okay, so Lily hooks back up with Hagen dog, and they go to the slaughterhouse, and the father comes out with a flamethrower, like in The Thing.
Or Aliens.
What?
Or in Aliens.
Or in Aliens. But I think it's probably more like Aliens, because the pack of angry dogs is kind of like the alien queen, if you add up all of their hit points. And
they're seen rampaging through the city in some really wonderful kind of
yeah, doggy rampage is,
and it's and if you look carefully, you'll see no one's actually ever being attacked. The dogs are just kind of running alongside the people.
Yeah, they're all probably laughing and going, come on pupsies, let's go. And so then he comes out with a flamethrower. Hagen dog lays down. Lily lays down in front of the dog and is like, "No, don't hurt my friends." And
she plays him the selection from Tannhauser on the
tuba. I mean the horn, the trumpet. Yeah,
tuba would probably send the animal into an angry.
Everybody would like. It would have been a beer garden. And they all lay down, and then the dad goes and lays down. And that's the end.
You spoke to me earlier and said that you didn't really much care for it.
No,
I can kind of tell by your summary, which doesn't take the movie all that seriously. But
no. It was all right. I mean, the cute dogs were in it, and who can argue with cute dogs? None of the people.
There were cute dogs, but there were also mean dogs.
Well, yeah, but what is a mean dog? You know, a mean
well, there's
dog
lots
is
of
just
mean people.
a misunderstood dog.
There's a lot of mean people in the movie.
In my experience, that mean dogs are misunderstood dogs, and a lot of times, mean people are misunderstood people.
So, you didn't like the movie?
No, I felt like it really was. It was kind of. Have you ever watched a film that tried so hard to tell you something, and you just, no matter how much you wanted to, you really didn't care what it was saying?
Usually those movies star Kirk Cameron and they're in the $5 bin at Walmart.
Yeah, but this one, sure, it has, 8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
Sure.
But that's only like 17 people that reviewed it. I
loved it. I thought there's, as far as movies showing you things you don't see very often, you don't see this kind of thing very often.
And that's kind of one of our themes, I think, is we watch movies that show us things that people rarely see, like a pack of dogs going wild in a city, or a zombie fighting a shark, or
mermaids going through puberty.
Mermaids going through puberty. That's something you don't see every day. Or maybe this author is trying to talk about.
So you didn't
social uprising due to racism, but oh my God, it's been done, and he's using dogs. I understand it. It's a neat little concept and everything else, and it's not that I don't care about it. It's that I don't care that he's using dogs to get his political point across.
Okay, so my interpretation of all that was that if you treat a group of people or a certain way long enough, they can become the very thing that you were afraid they were in the first place.
That's a really good way of putting what I was thinking.
And I did think it was a little on the nose, but I thought that it stayed enough with the little girl and the dog in the movie that it didn't get away from them. And I thought the whole rebellion at the end, with the revenge and everything, it ends in that final shot, which could be seen either as the calm before the storm, meaning it's going to get much worse, or it could be seen as a truce.
The only way that we're all going to get along and get together is through common ground, and most common ground on the planet, I think, is music.
Well, Spielberg thought so. He had his aliens come down and communicate with music.
Was it a horror movie though?
Yeah, well, it has the revenge elements. It has it's violent and upsetting.
There's only one throat torn out.
Yeah.
That's not horror.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
You picked it.
Sorry, Shudder. I love you, but you're kind of stretching it on some of these films. You're stretching it.
Or maybe we just tend to go for the ones that are stretching it.
I don't know what's wrong with us. This is supposed to be a YouTube channel designed to encourage people to watch more horror movies on Shudder. And we keep picking movies that aren't horror movies.
You picked this one, man.
What are we thinking? This was your influence that did this to me. You told me that White God was good.
I told you the trailers looked insane, and they did. Watch the trailer.
I picked it based on your recommendation.
All right, man. I won't even try to influence anything that you choose. You can blame me.
I invoke the right of second choosing.
Oh, you are you saying you get to choose the next movie? Because my influence caused you to choose this movie?
It's my right.
Okay.
Consult the rules.
I love the movie. I thought it was brilliant, well put together, well acted.
I agree with
I
all of that.
I saw a 1976 movie called Dogs, which was very similar, except it didn't have all the, but it wasn't as realistic.
They didn't have actual dogs in it.
They had actual dogs. They were all like but and they were running down the street at people, but it wasn't
Well,
as
were there 225 dogs?
there weren't 225 dogs. Hey, at least you can say this movie helped put a lot of dogs in nice homes.
98% of them.
Oh.
98% of dogs go to heaven.
Okay, so you would not recommend.
I'm going to click eject on this one.
Okay, I click play.
Okay.
I think it's a different enough movie. It's not something you'd see every day. And I think enough people like it.